are designed to eliminate the negativity, stress, and anger that's plaguing your marriage. By using these simple psychological tactics, you'll trigger a chemical process inside your spouse that will force his or her mind to feel exactly how they did when they first met you, and they'll experience a buzz of infatuation and sexual chemistry. Now that you've rewired your partner's perception of you and your marriage into something positive, you're ready to move on to the next phase. Step 2. Stop using logic and reasoning and start tapping into your spouse's emotions. See, everything you've been doing right up until this point, the bickering, the yelling, and the pointless arguing, has been speaking to your partner's left side of the brain, the rational, logical half. But no amount of logic and reasoning is going to compel your spouse to fall in love with you again and fix your marriage. In fact, trying to reason and argue with your partner is only going to help you sign those divorce papers even sooner. What you have to do is to speak with your partner's emotional control center of the brain, or the right side of the brain. By doing this, you'll bypass your spouse's psychological defense mechanisms, and you'll be able to force him or her to rediscover the love and chemistry that's been missing. And finally, in step 3, all you'll have to do is use my Big 6 bond builders to ensure that your spouse never thinks about leaving you ever again. These are simple techniques designed to build the kind of intimate bond with your spouse that will divorce-proof your marriage for years to come. At this point, when your partner thinks about the future, they'll envision you by their side, and they'll be willing to fight tooth and nail to make this a reality. All you have to do is say yes. Now you're probably thinking, okay, Brad, this all makes sense and it sounds like it'll work, but what now? Allow me to introduce the key to saving your marriage. It's a complete, done-for-you, step-by-step system that I call Mend the Marriage. This is a system that I've poured my heart and soul into for the last 10 years, and relationship experts have been hailing it as the most effective marriage-saving system on the planet. Now, this isn't rocket science, but what I can tell you for certain is that you definitely haven't read or heard much of the marriage-saving techniques I reveal in the program. Here's a few examples of what's inside my Mend the Marriage system. In my in-depth Getting Started video, which you'll watch immediately when you begin the program, I'll explain what you should do right now to begin righting the wrongs and ensure you avoid committing any of the most common marriage-destroying mistakes. You'll learn how using my forever phrase will tap into your spouse's positive memory bank and make him or her let go of the negative memories and generate intense feelings of nostalgia so powerful that they'll actually start fighting to keep the marriage alive. I'll explain what to do if your partner continues to resist the idea of staying together and how to get him or her to buy in. And best of all, your spouse will actually think that fixing the marriage was their idea, apologizing and promising that your marriage will never face this kind of crisis ever again. You'll discover the most effortless way to read your spouse's mind and know exactly what he or she needs from you, without even saying a word. How sweet will it be once you have this power over someone? My dispute diffusing system will help you stop any argument in its tracks, leaving your spouse feeling victorious without you actually giving in to any of their demands. This is the single most effective way of preventing conflict in a relationship. I'll explain how using a unique combination of reverse psychology and velvety smooth words will infuse a rush of sexual desire within your spouse. Once you use this, you will become your spouse's one and only sexual drug. If cheating and jealousy are huge issues that have been eating away at your relationship, I'll teach you my forgiveness technique. And within a few days, your spouse will be begging for forgiveness and promising to commit to you and stay faithful until death do you part. You'll learn how to completely shelter your children from the current marriage crisis and make sure that neither you nor your spouse will cause emotional damage to the kids. I'll explain how the simple concept I call a connection account can quite literally divorce-proof your marriage and provide you with a powerful means of maintaining a lifelong, devoted bond with your partner. And it doesn't really involve any work on your part. You'll learn to use my Big 6 bond builders. These are simple but extremely powerful actions that will make your partner forget about all the doubts and uncertainties they have about the marriage and force them to feel closer and more intimate with you than ever before. This doesn't even scratch the surface. All of this stuff has been proven effective by the thousands of people I've worked with over the past few years. For example, here's what Kelsey left on my voicemail the other day.
Hi Brad, my name is Kelsey and I'm from Toronto. I first stumbled on your website when my husband and I were in the process of getting a separation, and at the time I was really desperate to do something to save it. I mean, we had been married for 6 years and we had 2 children together. It was like something that I couldn't just let go without a fight. I decided to try out your program and began applying your methods right away, and at first I didn't notice much of a difference, but I stuck with your system, and after just about a week, I began to see little changes in my husband that I hadn't seen in years. He began paying attention to me more, talking to me more, and even laughing with me. We began getting more intimate, and he kissed me in a way that I hadn't been kissed in years. It's been over a month, and things are slowly getting better, and we've decided not to get separated. Thank you so much, Brad. I appreciate all your help.
And here's an email that I got from Lincoln Schwartz in California. Lincoln says, I had been married for 20 years with my wife, Marie. Over 2 years ago, we felt that the marriage was going south. But since we had been together for so long, we wanted to stick around to see if anything had changed. Unfortunately, nothing did. We fought almost every day. We were bored of each other. And to top it all off, we were in a heap of financial trouble and we were forced to downsize substantially. This put an added layer of strain on our marriage, and she was ready to call it quits on our family. This is when I discovered your Mend the Marriage program. I applied everything you taught, and within a few weeks, I could feel everything